You know, at the 60 Plus Association, we are on a recruiting trip for seniors. We're signing them up in droves because of this particular piece of legislation that was rammed down their throats about 2.5 years ago. It helps send a message that seniors are aware, they're energized, they're ready to go, and I call it a senior citizen tsunami. It came ashore in 2010. A lot of folks had to update their resumes. That same senior citizen tsunami is offshore. It's coming ashore again this November.
Actually, I grew up in one of those neighborhoods in New York, Italian neighborhoods, where we had a lot of crime, but no one ever saw or heard anything. Right? And no matter how you got killed, it was always a heart attack. You could throw a guy off a 30-story building. The cops come, what happened? I don't know. It looked like a heart attack.
I thanked seniors back in 2009 and 10 when I watched those town hall meetings all over the country. And it was senior citizens, men and women, who were saying, hey, and then of course, the Speaker of the House then said, we've got to pass it to find out what in the world's in it. Whew. The only ones that knew what was in it were senior citizens all over the country. They knew what was coming down the turnpike. They didn't like it then, they still don't. And after all, I think it's immoral, as a matter of fact, to have, when you pass away, to have the first claimant in line, Uncle Sam. He's not even a blood relative, for crying out loud.
And I'll be really, really honest. I have been raised, I'm 48 years old now. I've been raised my whole life fearing the American medical system. And every time a Canadian would complain about wait times or different things, everybody would say, well, at least we don't have the system that they do in the United States. So I was very nervous. Anyways, I walked into the hospital and two of my doctors were actually Canadian doctors that had gotten fed up of working within the Canadian system and had come down here for employment. And within a week, I had all the tests done, and they handed me the results. They, in the meantime, contacted my husband and said, she's in serious trouble. This has to be done immediately. Handed me my case, and they started making phone calls to get me in for surgery at home. I came back to Canada, knocked every door that I could, and every surgeon had such a long lineup that there was just no way I was going to get treatment. So I came back to the United States, had my surgery, and here I am today.
Let the rightful heirs keep it, because there are economic studies now that show if you leave it with heirs, the rightful owners, they'll either use it to start up new businesses or to expand existing businesses. It's that simple. But Uncle Sam knows better how to spend your money than you do, of course.
You didn't kneel down and pray to God at my church unless somebody was covering you. You'd be like, yeah, Joey, watch my back. I'm going to talk to God, all right? Yeah, God, forgive me. Priest walk in, what happened? I don't know, it looked like a heart attack.
I was determined from that point on that I would talk to any American that would listen to me, and I was hoping that every Canadian would, and that we would sit down and share our war stories so that we could tell each other what our system was like, so that we could collaborate and work together to get a really good healthcare system. Because quite honestly, if you lose the kind of healthcare system that you have, us Canadians will have nowhere to go for treatments.
Ah, God, loosen up, folks, come on. You don't think God's got a sense of humor? Look around.
Most seniors out in the 50 states are moderate to conservative. They know what's going on. They've been there, they've done that. It's the leadership in Washington. The AARP's leadership is extremely liberal. Now, I don't make all this stuff up. That's one of the reasons we started this group, to give a counter, another voice for seniors. And when I say that, look, they tout themselves as a nonprofit. And look, it's pretty tough to resist a sales pitch when you get a letter, we're 40 million strong, we can get you the best price possible, and so many seniors have to pinch their pennies. They say, boy, this sounds like a great deal. Then they read last year that they made over $600 million on the backs of the elderly. The AARP gets millions of our tax dollars. Most of you folks, I know you know that. Their high water mark year, one year was 85.9 million of our tax dollars, 1 year alone. And I testified before Congress a few years ago, and Jim, what did they do with it? And I said, well, I can't figure it all out. Somebody said that they're teaching seniors how to drive automobiles, and I thought, well, my heavens, the time you're a senior, if you don't know how to drive a car, that to me wasn't a good use of money, in my opinion.
It's great to be home. Before you leave, though, we need you to sign our bus because we're traveling all around the country, and we bring those signatures as representation that we're talking about the issues and we're making changes across the country. So don't leave here until you sign the bus.